Thanksgiving Day this year means the opening day of the Gulfstream Park Championship meet. It also means the Black Friday sale is underway. Shop.drf.com. Use the coupon code BF2024. And remember, when you're heading to shop.drf.com, they have everything you need for the Gulfstream Park Championship meet each and every day. Past performances, clocker reports, and DRF picks. Yes, those clocker reports are back for Gulfstream. And then next month at Santa Anita, you can get them there every racing day, led by Mike Welsh and the DRF team. So let's get into the late races for Thursday. Let's look at the late pick four sequence. We'll go races 5 through 8, opening day Thursday at Gulfstream Park. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you. Hope you have a great Thanksgiving day and holiday week coming up with your family and your friends. We appreciate all of you for listening, watching, subscribing to the YouTube channel. Cheap plug if you can do so right there below. Make sure you'll get alerted to all the videos that we have for you, and there are a lot of them this weekend. Let's see if we can make you some money at Gulfstream Park. Race 5 on Thursday. It's a first level allowance race, going 5 furlongs on the turf. Some that I'm using to the outside, the 11 has shown some versatility, and I think that might be key in a race like this, especially with the outside draw for her. She was a really nice winner at Indy last time out. And then a couple starts back, she's pressing the pace at Kentucky, going 7, and that's just too far for her. Look at the 3 races on the grass. I mean, really, the overall body of work is not bad. You can go back to the race at Churchill Downs that was taken off the turf in June the 26th, and she had some legitimate trouble that day. And then her debut, she broke a little slowly. But she's shown a lot more speed and just maturity in her recent races. So I think from the outside draw, the ability to pass horses, but also to show some speed could be a real key for her in here. The 2, Tiffany Gold, kind of a wild card, looking for where she fits. She faced a decent group last time out, and I would expect her to be a little bit sharper in this one. The 3, Paleo's Princess, could fall into a nice trip in here. Doesn't want to be too far out of it, but if she's sitting close, just kind of sit and pass some horses late, which could be real crucial in these turf sprints. Just want to be sitting in the right spot and then kind of fall into place. Others that might be on the radar. The 9's obviously a player, right? Order of the Phoenix. But the problem is she's just not fast early. So 5 furlongs could be just too short for her. Breeze Arrow is interesting, trying the turf for the first time. Really good synthetic success. I went 11-2, then 3, 9, 8 for more underneath type horses with the 11, Miyako on top. Let's move to race number 6. Maiden special weight going 6 furlongs on the dirt at Gulfstream on Thursday. I might single the 1 in late pick 4 situations with Kindness. Take a look at the race with Kindness last time out. So she'll be making her 3rd career start. Her debut was solid. She was a good second. She was well beaten that day. Now we're going to look at her 2nd start. Now, the concern I would have is in her 3rd start, all 3 races, she's drawn the rail. She's the number 1 in this race that we're watching right here. And this is on October 27th at Gulfstream. She's an okay start, but you get kind of stuck in that in-between spot from the rail. You have to make a decision. Do you want to take back or do you want to go? She tries to push through, but she gets stopped. Right about here, she's got the room, so she's trying to push through, and then she gets stopped. The 6 sort of gets over, and with Kindness is going to have to back up, lose a couple lengths, and then angle around. And right here, like that ends up being the difference between winning and losing this race. She backs up here. She's got to angle around, and it just changes the dynamic for a horse who loses some of their energy, loses some of their stride, having to do so. She makes the early move right here too. And look at, she goes wide while the horse who ends up winning the race is able to sneak kind of through and then around. She moves early, and it was like a perfect split for the eventual winner of this race. And this horse who runs her down, the 7, who was a big price, Volatile, came back following that effort and was 2nd in a stakes race next time out, stepping up. So I feel like with Kindness, the horse to beat, but you got to be careful because that trip, again, from the inside, you get something just like that. The 6-horse Starship Polaris of the first-time starters. This one's a half to a decent runner. You have the 7 Marty's Gal, a very logical first-time starter. I would prefer the 1, though, who has the experience. And then you've got the 5 Time Leap, who flashed some speed in the debut, but it was a sloppy track, so she just backed up. She does have a couple siblings that are multiple winners. And the 2, Just a Filly, just kind of going through some of the logical horses in here, was well behind With Kindness, who I do think is the one to beat in here. So With Kindness would be a horse I'd probably single in the multis. Moving to race number 7, 5.5 furlongs on the turf course. These are $25,000 claimers, 3-year-olds and up, which have never won 3 races or which have not won a race since May the 28th. I have to throw in the 6, or the 6 is the horse to beat, I think. 3-0. He's coming out of some strong races, and a couple of those races at Saratoga are good. He moves back to the synthetic. Look at his last few synthetic races. Beaten a neck, winning by 2+, and earning really nice speed figures. Speed showed us he can come from off the pace. Last time out was on the grass. He got kind of stopped a little bit in the 2 path, and he was moving inside in between. He was in a really tight spot, but he showed very good late energy, and that was on the grass, and he's not even as good on the grass as the synthetic. He's just not a win machine. But he's a use for me for sure. The 1 Point Liam. What's nice about him, there are versions of this race where they're going pretty quick, and he's just going to kind of drop back and make the 1 late run. And they may be going pretty quick because of horses like Catamasto, the 5, and the outside horse Jet Wings. I think you want to throw in your pick 4s and pick 5s, second start back off the long layoff, really quick with the outside draw. They give him some options. I have the 8 in the 3rd spot here. I went 6, 1, 8. Wasn't as sure what to do with the 5, Catamasto. Second start back off the long layoff. He could be better. But after a long layoff like that, and then a poor effort, I'm always a little trepidatious. Nada. Wasn't sure what to do with, but Loyal Louis I could see throwing in. Another one making their second start back could be just a little bit sharper here. I went 6, 1, 8. And then 5 and 3 would be horses if you wanted to go a little deeper that I would use more underneath. Let's move to the closeout on Thanksgiving Thursday at Gulfstream Park. This one is the Wait a While for 2-year-old fillies going 7.5 furlongs on the turf course. Okay, for the Game of Thrones fans out there, you've got this horse named Brutally Honest, the dam, Egret, which was Jon Snow's lover. And Egret has had 2 so far, Brutally Honest and You Know Nothing, which she used to say to Jon Snow, "You know nothing, Jon Snow." So the Game of Thrones fans will be out in full force with Brutally Honest, but I gotta be brutally honest. She was really impressive in that debut. She was 11th of 12 early. You know what? Let's watch the race. It was that good. Let's watch it. I'll talk you through it. Probably mention another Game of Thrones pun or two. Here we go. Brutally Honest is the 4 in this race that we're watching right now. So she's slow out of the gate. She's towards the back of the pack, 11th of 12 and maybe 10 lengths out of it early on. But she's going to kind of settle. Look at the trouble even early on. She's kind of bouncing around because she's in some traffic. She has to back up. And she just looks a little green kind of early. This is her career debut. You're getting shuffled back. You're kind of all over the place. It's a brand new experience. She's not even on the screen right now, Brutally Honest. And she's going to settle towards the back. And she's going to be really impressive in just a moment. Now you see her tip to the outside. So she's the 4. She's starting to move at the back of the pack. She's right outside the 1. And remember, first time out of the box, going a mile. This is not an easy trip. And now she's already wide at the back of the pack. She's 3 deep right now. And she is just going to blow by everyone. And what's really impressive about this trip is she had to do so much just to kind of get into contention with the top of the field. This is generally a time when the horse will get a little tired. So she starts following the 5 right here and then is able to angle to the outside. At this point, she's still 6th with a lot to do, a lot of work. But she just moves to the outside and just starts like hopping by these horses. I thought this was extremely impressive for a 2-year-old in the debut and just wrapped up late, going away. Brutally honest. You know nothing, Jon Snow. The number 7, Bella Veneno, really logical. That 2 starts back race. She's behind Mayday Ready, who comes back and runs second in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies turf. And Mayday Ready won the Jessamine following that Kentucky Downs race. So just that form line alone makes her really tough in here. And then on October the 26th, she was also really solid. Comes rolling late. She had legitimate trouble when she lost to Mayday Ready too. 5-7 for me is my top 2. Put the 2 horse in the 3rd spot. Savetta, she's one of the horses to beat, no doubt. But she will have to show us she can get 7.5 furlongs. Her work has been at 6 and 6.5. But very solid effort last time out. Kind of wore down some of the rivals to the inside. She was good. Only beaten a neck that day. And then 12 would be another if you were looking to go a little deeper. Smart Union. That was an impressive win, second out. Figures a little light. I don't worry as much about the speed figures with 2-year-olds. Put the 5 on top of the 7. Those would be my top 2 and kind of the top tier. The 2 probably be favored in here, especially for those connections, but I like others a little more. And then the 12, 5, 7, 2, 12. However you're playing the races on Thursday at Gulfstream Park, wish you the best of luck. Head to shop.drf.com for everything you need throughout the Gulfstream Park meet. Good luck playing the races on Thursday, and happy Thanksgiving.